Commvault Cyber Resilience on AWS, the ultimate protection for your cloud-native workloads. Innovate with confidence knowing that your critical AWS workloads are secure and recoverable. Our industry-leading solution can help you protect your data regardless of whether you're managing a hybrid environment or leading a fully digital native strategy. Experience the peace of mind that comes with comprehensive data protection. Choose Commvault Cyber Resilience on AWS for any workload, anywhere. Hello and welcome to our conference coverage here at AWS. I'm Sylvia Oakland, staff writer with GovCIO Media and Research, and I am joined today by Shannon Ayers from the Lawrence Livermore National Lab. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll go ahead and why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself and, what you were speaking about here at AWS.
Yeah, so I am a division leader at Livermore Labs, which means I'm responsible for the team that supports the National Ignition Facility, so the laser program. That's a team of about 750 engineers and scientists that operate, maintain, and ensure that we improve the capabilities of that laser system. So here I was at AWS, I was talking about a recent partnership with AWS where we successfully rolled out some AI tools that will help us improve the efficiency of operations at the National Ignition Facility.
Yeah, and I'm excited to talk about this partnership. So I read through the press release. I listened to your lightning round talk, which was great, by the way. And the key things that I kind of pulled out were you guys completed this first phase of integration, this generative AI into your operations, and you were looking to increase that operational efficiency. Do you mind kind of walking us through what that looked like what that first phase of integration looked like?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me talk a little bit about what that tool is. So the tool that we were rolling out takes a look at 22 years worth of data that we have, where we have documented all of the problems that exist in our facility and the resolution to those problems. So we wanted to take that and make it accessible to the next generation workforce. So we have a challenge. Our equipment is old. It needs maintenance. It fails unpredictably, and we need to be able to address it swiftly so that we can get back into shot operations. Imagine it's an assembly line where data is the product we're producing, right? So downtime means we're not producing data. And so we had this vision that if AI could help us have a way that an operator could, with plain language, search our databases and come up with resolution, that would save us a ton of time. And so that's exactly what this tool does. It searches through over 98,000 problem logs and about over 7,000 critical path delays to produce a troubleshooting for our operators. It will walk through a decision tree to help them get to an answer and resolve problems quickly.
And I think right now, especially at this point in the federal government, we are really looking for, as someone said earlier in your panel, doing more with less, right? That is kind of the challenge, and both a challenge and an opportunity. How do we solve this problem? And so that kind of leads me into the next question of, why is efficiency so critical for you and your team at the lab?
Yeah, so I would say it's not only doing more with less, it's actually producing more higher quality data on any given shot. So I think efficiency continues to be and always has been important for us. Data is our product. The more data we produce, the quicker we're going to solve the problems that are really important to our national security and advancing fusion energy. So I would say that efficiency is, multi-layered, but is really a core of how we conduct our business.
Yeah, and I know that Secretary Chris Wright has really focused on, how do we empower the labs to focus on nuclear, and how do we empower our grid with nuclear, and what does that look like going forward? And you talked a little bit in your chat about, that the problem log, and that we are having, a shift in the workforce in addition to that aging infrastructure. So do you mind kind of expanding on that a little bit and just talking about, what some of those pain point areas were and where you're at now?
Yeah, absolutely. So the folks that built and commissioned our large laser systems, most of them are either retired or getting ready to retire. So as much as we all did a fabulous job of documenting why decisions were made and how we built and commissioned systems, there inherently are holes in that work. Or we're having to upgrade our systems, and maybe we didn't have some of the challenges in the past. But a lot of the data to support that is in our problem logs. So our next generation workforce is coming in, they're bright, they have really great ideas, but they don't have that experience. And we need to build it quickly. So what better way to do that than to leverage all of the data that we have to help very quickly give them access to it so that they can build on it. And basically, we're helping them broaden their experience without having to live it themselves. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. I was talking to Chris Ritter, who is from the Idaho National Lab, and we were talking about how this is really just enabling science to do better science almost.
Yeah.
You're using what you're already doing just to expand on and really find all of like the nooks and crannies of opportunities that are within your organization. And, as we're hearing, we're really trying to win this AI race. We're really trying to set the standards, and this is going to be something that is just going to help accelerate that immensely.
Absolutely.
And I think that kind of brings me into this final question of, how are we going to continue to accelerate this AI race? And with that comes partnerships. The partnership with AWS clearly has been influential for you and your team. So how will partnerships impact you and your team going forward? And what do you kind of envision? And what's kind of next for partnerships with you and your team?
Yeah, I think partnerships are really going to continue to enable and advance our capabilities because we're really bringing together thought leaders from different organizations so that we can solve some of the world's most difficult problems. We're taking the tools that others have already put into use and figuring out how to adapt them, which of course is saving time and money and allowing us to move forward our science quicker to solve the world's biggest problems.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I really look forward to is just seeing these developments. So you guys are in the first phase of integrating this Gen AI. I don't know how much you can tell me, but what does that second phase kind of look like? Like, what are you looking towards as you implement this completely?
I would say, let me share with you the longer term vision. The longer term vision is the next generation fusion energy facilities, for example, are going to rely heavily on AI to ensure that all of the processes that we are currently doing manually are self-driven, right? They have to happen a million times faster than they're happening today. There's no way we're going to do them manually as we are. So part of what we're doing is we're building that infrastructure, that capability to support the future. That really is the long-term vision of what we hope to do.
And that is very clearly a really big part of the Department of Energy's goals. And that's something that we're hearing constantly is how do we build out the AI infrastructure from the hardware to the software to the workforce. And I cannot wait to continue the journey with you guys. So Shannon, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.